This is Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson, a bi-weekly-ish podcast about all things automotive marketing. Now, here's your host, Matt Wilson.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson. I'm Matt Wilson. Obviously, we are presented by Silverback Advertising online at silverbackadvertising.com. Thank you for listening. I was having a conversation this morning with a dealer. We were talking about a used car store, right? And they just rebranded the used car store. At the beginning of the year, what's today? We're recording this on the 22nd, so 22 days ago. And the branding is all new. It's about their new, positioning, new, all branding. It's not price driven, right? I call it relational. It's all relational. It's not transactional. And I was kind of excited about the conversation because I feel like a lot of times dealers might not pay attention or understand the importance of the branding message of what differentiates them from other dealers. And so I'm talking to this dealer this morning, and it made me think of an article I read in Dealer Marketing Magazine, which is called "Why Should I Buy from Your Dealership?" And as I'm talking to this dealer, I'm thinking of the article, and I'm like, this is a discussion that we need to have. So joining me now on Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson, he is the founder and CEO at MZ Dealer Services. Max Zanan is on with me. Hello, Max. Good morning. Afternoon.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you. You're like a LinkedIn celebrity. Like before I even was involved with Dealer Marketing Magazine and started talking to some of their expert panel members, I knew of your name from LinkedIn. So that makes you a LinkedIn celebrity, I guess, right?
Well, LinkedIn is a phenomenal platform. And unfortunately, a lot of car dealers completely neglect it.
Yeah.
So I try to make the best out of it because, first of all, I truly like car business. So I do a lot of posts on LinkedIn, whether it's articles or videos, not because I'm trying to sell something, but because I just want to bring their attention to what's happening in the industry in order for them to get better. Because ultimately, I am nowhere without car dealers. My livelihood depends on car dealers staying in business.
Yeah. And you do a great job providing information. I mean, I find, lots of, informational, educational things on there, or at least, stuff you post that will cause, a discussion either on your post or later on in the day, talking to a colleague and you think, I saw this thing on LinkedIn, it stimulates, ideas and, in your own brain. And I think that there's value to that. And I guess this is kind of off subject from what we were planning on talking about today, but let's roll with it for a second. In terms of like dealers on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn for me, I see obviously a lot of business to business type stuff going on. What's the benefit for a dealer to be on LinkedIn? Are they talking to other dealers, vendors, idea sharing, or do they need to be? Are they talking to customers? Are they selling? Like,
so you see, my feeling is that a lot of dealers choose not to be on LinkedIn is because they're being pitched by some vendor on a daily basis.
Right,
and the fear is that I'm going to get on LinkedIn and this never-ending pitching will continue. So, I think that's the reason why they choose not to be there. But as you mentioned, the idea exchange, or just to learn something new and to take it to the next level is actually sell cars on LinkedIn. Because, everybody's talking about selling cars on Facebook, selling cars on Instagram. To me, LinkedIn is the platform to sell cars. Because first and foremost, I would say 99% of LinkedIn members are employed.
Yeah, right.
So they actually have a job that where they make money and they can afford a car. Number two, you can actually target particular people, right? You can target people by job titles. right? So let's say if you happen to be a Ford dealer and you want to develop a fleet department or commercial department, you can actually search for businesses or business owners in your area on LinkedIn and contact them about potential future car sales or truck sales.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that.
I think that what happens a lot of times is, a dealer will, see LinkedIn, like selling a car doesn't necessarily mean putting a picture of a car with a price under it online. And you can sell a car, I'm listening to what you're saying and it makes sense. You can sell a car on LinkedIn without putting, an ad of here's this car and here's what it costs. Creating the relationship with the CEO who's looking for a car is the same as selling a car. It doesn't matter like the method you're using.
Exactly. And again, a lot of these people, especially if you look at the CEO level, let's say they're in the market for a luxury SUV or luxury sedan.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't need a test drive. Nobody's going to come in and test drive, $120,000 Audi A8.
Right.
It's that is simple. So if you can just develop a relationship on LinkedIn, make yourself available, tell them that you're going to actually do it the way it's supposed to be done in the 21st century, where you're going to deliver the car to their office or to their house, right? You're going to execute all the paperwork electronically.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they say yes to that?
Yeah, totally agree with you. Let's talk about why should I buy from your dealership? Article that you wrote that is in Dealer Marketing Magazine online at dealermarketingmagazine.com, where you are an expert panel member. Me too. I'm an expert panel member, which is crazy because I don't think I'm an expert at anything.
Right. So I wrote this article because I'm really worried, right? We have two parallel universes. We have the franchise dealer universe, and then we have I'm going to put them together, the Teslas, Carvanas, Rooms of the world in a parallel universe. And there's a totally different approach to selling between these two universes. So what separates the other universe from car dealers is that they have a value proposition where Carvana is not trying to sell you a car, right?
Right.
They're trying to sell you the value proposition that they have many cars to choose from. They will deliver the car to your house. You don't have to negotiate. And most importantly, if for any reason it doesn't work out, they will take it back. So same goes for Vroom. I think now CarMax is entering this game. They're now offering a 30-day test drive, which is like a race to the bottom in a different way. There'll be some other entity that's going to eventually offer it for 10 years probably.
Right. Yeah.
So what makes me worried is that the car dealers are still not utilizing that approach to selling. So the idea is that, hey, I'm just going to advertise a low price, but at this point it's not enough.
Yeah.
So I wrote an article trying to help dealers develop a why buy from us messaging. And again, there's no right answer.
Right.
I only gave, I think, 3 or 4 examples, but anything can be your message. You should think of your market space and figure out what really resonates with people to whom you're planning to sell.
The Carvanas of the world are selling the experience. They're selling how you're going to buy the car and the ease of buying the car. They're not selling the car. And dealers were selling, well, I can give you this $21,000 Altima for $19,894 or whatever the gimmicky price is. But you're going to have to come here on Saturday and it's going to take 4 hours. And Carvana is selling the, hey man, look, it's really easy. Like we'll bring you the car on a nice truck and here you go. So I agree. But how does a dealer think about, because it's hard. It's easy for a dealer. It's easy for you and me to say, okay, you need to sell what makes you different, your value proposition, your why buy. when it's been ingrained in dealers and in our type of people to be like, I gotta have the cheapest car, I gotta market it as often as possible, and that's what's gonna get me to get that guy to come in and buy the car this Saturday. Like, how do we change that thinking?
That's an excellent point, and it's really, really hard. Like if you talk to dealers about digital retail, and I see this all the time, I would be with the dealer principal in the dealership, and the dealer principal would be saying that digital retail would never work,
Right.
for whatever reason. And at the same time, the same dealer principal would be getting Amazon packages delivered to his office as we're talking. You understand?
Yeah.
So there's this, talking about parallel universes, So at some point, you have to look at it, no matter how hard it is, as a consumer, right? And forget COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a consumer, by now, by 2020, 2019, we are programmed to go online. It doesn't matter what we're looking to buy, right? We start our journey on the internet.
Yep.
And whoever makes it easier, that's where we end up buying it. When I buy stuff on Amazon, I promise you I'm not getting the best price.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the easiest, most reliable experience.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to pay for it. And I'm not alone. Right?
I was on the phone this morning with somebody and I was joking around that all my good ideas come to me in the shower, right? That's when I think of my ideas. Oh, I need to do this tactic, or this would be a great idea for a spot for one of my clients, or maybe I should do this. And he sent me a link 2 seconds later for a shower whiteboard on Amazon for $25. Could I have found a whiteboard somewhere else cheaper? Probably, but I hit buy now and it's going to be at my house on Monday.
That's it.
And that's how people shop. I made that decision instantly. It's not the same. It's not the same as a car. I mean, there's a difference in I'm buying this $24 whiteboard and I'm buying a $50,000 Gladiator from Vroom, but that's the way people shop now.
Right, but you see again, if you look at Carvana, right, they are doing it the hard way, right? They're selling used cars, and every used car is unique, and maybe it has a smell, maybe it has a scratch. They're really doing it the hard way, and the proof of concept is there because I think they sold close to 200,000 cars in 2019, and I'm sure 2020 number is going to be even greater. So people are willing to press buy online if you give them the opportunity.
Yeah. So what are some of the why buy? Like, what are some of the, because family owned and operated is an age old, like, well, that's what makes us different. But what are some of the popular messages or things that dealers can do as an effective why buy?
So to me, the most effective why buy, and it costs absolutely nothing, right? It's totally free.
Mm-hmm.
So family owned is just a word. And unless you back it up with action, it means nothing.
Words. It's 2 words, Max.
Right, 2 words. Good point. So the best thing you can do, I think, as the owner, is to record a video and put that video on your homepage. Because listen, when I'm shopping for a car and I go to any car dealer's website, I know that they're in business of selling cars.
Right.
It's okay not to see a car on a homepage. I would rather prefer to see a dealer principal telling me what makes this dealership different, that he or she is accessible, that here's their contact information, that they are here to do the right thing. Because when I go to dealer's website and I click on meet the staff, there's a 95% chance that there's no information about the owner, or there's no picture, or there's no contact information of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm doing business with a franchise with no personality behind it. I don't know who to contact in case things go wrong. And especially in a smaller community, where there's no luxury of population density, that makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the first step, right? And again, it costs absolutely nothing. You just have to articulate who you are, what you stand for, and what is it that makes you different. So that's number one. The second, I think, especially in this environment, because of COVID, right? People are afraid to make financial decisions, especially on large ticket items such as cars and homes, because there's uncertainty. Will they close the business? Will they furlough me?
Right.
Right. So unless you offer some kind of security in a way of vehicle return program, it makes it harder for people to pull the trigger. Because listen, you can romance me with zero APR for 84 months.
Right.
If I lose my job, right, I still can make that payment at zero APR. So a vehicle return program, I think, is key. That gives people an ability to say, okay, fine, if God forbid things go wrong, I can walk away from my loan or my lease and be okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to ruin my credit. I'm not going to have a repo on my credit report. And I think that's absolutely paramount in this environment. Again, listen, if we spoke a year ago, I think this particular program would not be as appealing.
Right.
We were having the lowest unemployment in history, and you just wouldn't get people to pay attention to that particular message.
Yeah. But you're right. Now you're breaking down a barrier that's an objection to buy. I don't know, what's going on in the world. I could lose my job. Like, okay, well, if that happens, that's not an issue with us. Give us the car back.
Exactly. And from the dealer's perspective, you can actually increase your market share, right? Because maybe I was in the market for a particular car, but that dealership didn't have this program available. Mm-hmm. So just for my own security, financial and psychological, I bought another car because of the program that was not even in my consideration when I began the search.
So what are so let's go with another one.
Another one is one of my favorites is Engine for Life.
Okay.
Right. We all know how expensive car repairs are, and I think everybody knows that the most expensive item to repair is an engine. So it has a very high perceived value in consumers' mind. So what I encourage dealers to do is to offer an Engine for Life program, which means that the customer, the dealer will take care of the engine for as long as the customer owns the car. But in return, all the customer has to do is do the scheduled maintenance according to the owner's manual, nothing more, at the selling dealer. Right. So it's a win-win. Dealer gets the service retention, dealer gets the marketing message, and the customer gets a peace of mind that the engine is covered regardless whether the factory warranty ran out or extended warranty ran out.
Yep, as long as you bring your car to us.
Right, which again, unfortunately, dealers, are ceding a huge market share to independents when it comes to oil changes and maintenance and repairs.
Of course.
So you have to do something to reclaim it. And Engine for Life makes sense.
Yeah.
For both.
Yeah. I like that one too, because, we're always battling the perception that, getting my car serviced, the dealer is more expensive, which is, probably a main reason that someone goes to an independent. But this is a great way to get around that.
Right. And not only that, perception is reality.
Right.
So if dealers don't do anything to combat this reality, then customer will think, yeah, I was right. Dealers are more expensive, but they're not. They're really not.
What else?
Prepaid maintenance. So this is an uphill battle. I mean, I've been talking about it for years. A lot of car dealers choose to sell an OEM prepaid maintenance. So, for example, you buy a GM, right, and you buy GM maintenance. So So GM Maintenance allows you to go to any GM dealership to service your car.
Mm-hmm.
So the dealer, the selling dealer, is missing out on the actual service business because there's absolutely no guarantee that this particular customer is going to come back to service with the selling dealer. Especially if you look, at areas that are highly populated, where you can have a Toyota dealership or a Honda dealership every 5 miles. There's a lot of choices. You look at New York City. Look how many stores are there. Right. So I can buy my car here and then ended up servicing it elsewhere. So a dealer-owned prepaid maintenance is only good at the selling dealer. And again, I would start by giving it away, making it part of your why buy from us story, and say, hey, if you get a car from me, the first year or the first 3 years of maintenance is on the house.
Yeah. Yep. 1 year free maintenance, whatever, 3 years free maintenance.
Right. Yes, it's an expense, but you have to be able to turn this expense first into a marketing message to attract more customers. And then you're actually providing an opportunity for your service advisors to build a relationship with your customers. And we are in a relationship business.
Yep.
And it's much easier at a later point in time to sell a brake job to somebody that you have a relationship with. Right.
There's also, exactly. They've been in the habit of coming to you. They know they've had the same service advisor every time they come. They enjoy the experience. They get to know you. Like you said, you have that relationship. And now when all of a sudden they need $600 brake job, you have an opportunity to sell that to them and do that job there at the dealership.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that you see, there's so many other ways you can do this, right? Again, some dealers could offer lifetime inspections, right? Or whatever it is, you can be really creative, as long as it resonates with your customers.
Yeah.
But you got to do something, I guess, is the real point. Without a why buy from us, we're at a point where every car is a commodity. And I really don't have to get it from dealer A because it's also available at dealer B and dealer C.
Right. And you go to a dealer's website. What's the first thing you think you should see? You should see the why buy, or you should see the 0% APR available, or you should see $99 lease. Like, what's the?
Me personally, like I said, I want to see a real person behind the dealership. I want to see the owner.
Yeah.
I want to see the video of an owner saying that, here I am. I'm at the dealership. This is how you reach me. This is what I stand for. This is what we do. That will definitely make you stand out. Because like you said, when you go to any website, the first thing you see is 0 APR, 84 months, or $139 a month ultimate lease.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you look at it through from the perspective of getting to know the dealer, or, the dealer being accessible there. I like you make a good point about the staff pages. You go to the staff page and it's either not there because the turnover means high turnover, or the highest position you can find there is sales manager, because the dealer doesn't want you to contact him. The owner or the GM doesn't want to hear from you. Or they're up there and their phone number or email address is not there. And then everybody under their level you can contact, but not that guy. But people can connect with the business so they can get a hold of that guy, or at least they perceive that they can get a hold of that guy.
So I look at it, just think of a restaurant, right? When you go to a restaurant and the owner comes out, it makes you feel special.
Yeah.
You want to go back.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we met the owner.
Right. So this should be no different.
I used to work for a dealer, and occasionally he would wander the showroom and just talk to somebody. And he would walk up, and his name was Bruce Bennett. And he would say, "Hi, I'm Bruce Bennett." And they'd be like, look at the front of the building and be like, "You mean like the guy whose name's on the building?" "Yeah." And they'd be like, "Holy cow, the owner walked up to us." It's this real person, but that has an effect on people. Like you said, you're in a restaurant and the owner comes over, you're like, "Oh my God, I'm talking to the owner. That's pretty cool."
Exactly. But that's how you connect with people. That's how you build loyalty. That's how you make sure that they come back, not just to buy a car, they come back to service, they send their friends, their relatives. You can't be hiding.
Yeah. Now, what is the importance of, because you can't just talk the talk. Okay, here's our why buy. It's on our homepage slide. And it's just this thing out there that our marketing agency or our marketing person came up with, but it doesn't translate into the in-store process. Everybody in the building has to buy into it, right?
So, you can't fake it, right?
Yeah, right. Fake it till you make it.
Right, you can't fake it, and your marketing company could create this incredible messaging. But if it doesn't correlate with your organizational culture and your corporate values and your mission statement, then you're going nowhere. It's going to be a complete breakdown between what the customer sees on the homepage and what they experience in the showroom.
Yeah.
So you have to start with the basics and ask yourself, why am I in business? Right? What's my mission statement? What are the values that my organization stands for? And you have to articulate it and deliver that message to your employees. And I think that also helps with turnover. Because if people work for an organization that actually believes in something, they want to work for that organization, not because they're naive, but because it's nice to work for an organization that has ideals that they strive for.
Yeah, all good stuff. Yeah, I think too, like if you're talking to a dealer, there can be a balance too. Like, in a lot of situations, like just because you're telling a dealer or that they should advertise their why buy, get the branding message out there, it doesn't mean you have to abandon your like low funnel price driven advertising. You don't have to eliminate that altogether, but what makes you different should be up front and probably take precedent over a reason they could buy a car from you that they could buy the same car at the same price 10 miles away.
Right. Because listen, if price is the only thing you can compete on, you will not be able to make any money, right? Because it's a race to the bottom.
Right.
And it's never ending. So you have to bring something else to the table.
Absolutely. Max, before we let you go, before we wrap up, have you been on Clubhouse yet? Everyone's been mentioning Clubhouse to me in the last 2 days.
So I joined, I haven't tried it. So it's basically listening. It's audio.
Okay.
So you listen to other people, they open a room based on the topic. And I guess you join the room and listen to other people speak. So
I know. I was talking to somebody today who asked me about it, and I don't have an iPhone. I'm a Samsung like Note guy, with the pen in the bottom. I've always been a Samsung guy, and it's iPhone only right now. And somebody was telling me they're having a good time. They were talking about, I think, service marketing, marketing to defecting customers who maybe are taking their vehicle to another dealership or somewhere closer to their house or an independent shop. And there was a discussion on that. And he was like, oh, it was a good discussion. I was thinking you should have been in there. And I was like, I don't have Clubhouse. I'm not going to go buy an iPhone just to get it. I'm like, eventually it'll be available on Android, I'm assuming. But I was just curious. I'm most curious how other people in the industry are perceiving these things. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. So that's why I figured I'd ask you.
I think there's hype because even if you have the iPhone, it doesn't mean that you're going to get Clubhouse.
I know, but I got an invite. Someone sent me an invite. I'm special.
Right, exactly. So again, listen, I wish that there were more dealers on LinkedIn, there were more dealers on Clubhouse, because listen, at the end of the day, this is a learning experience, and the more we learn from each other, the more competitive we can be, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a zero-sum game, right? Every car sold by Carvana, Vroom, Tesla, and a bunch of other electrical direct-to-consumer manufacturers that are coming is the car not sold by a franchise dealer.
Right. Yeah. Max, I appreciate your time. This was informational. Max is the founder and CEO at MZ Dealer Services and, of course, an expert panel member at Dealer Marketing Magazine. I appreciate your time, Max. Let's do it again. Let's do it again soon.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for having me,
All right.
Matt.
Thanks, man. You got it. There you go. Good stuff, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson. Hey, like and follow and subscribe and all that stuff you're supposed to say when you have a podcast. Thank you for listening.
Mostly Automotive Marketing with Matt Wilson is brought to you by... Wait, this guy has sponsors? Oh, never mind. This sheet of paper's blank. No sponsors. That makes more sense. For updates, info, future episodes, and more, follow on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and connect on Frackle. You guys made that last one up. That's not even a thing, Frackle.